And we're live. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. So today I have with me Max Bittker, who's one of the most creative and interesting people in this world of programming tools. I find that like some people like myself who are into programming tools, or I guess I'll say about Max, he always, it seems like he's overflowing with creativity and ideas. And in a similar way to our last guest, who was the one who mentioned Max and kind of nominated Max to come on the show, Toad Pond, Lou is also kind of bursting with creativity. Max is bursting with creativity. And so I'm excited to have him on the show to get some of that creativity into vowels, make some vowels with all that creativity. Max is known on the internet for creating this wonderful tweet bot, New York Times First Said. And he's in the past he worked at Castle, which is an iOS app for making games, like for kids making games on the phone. And yeah, so thanks for coming, Max. Excited to have you on the show.
Thanks, Steve. Really fun to be here.
Sweet.
So you kind of had asked me about what might be a fun thing to pair program on.
Yes.
And I make a lot of like front end web projects, and a lot of them are creative tools. And I love being able to make little small tools and put them out there. And usually I want to have some kind of like social sharing kind of functionality, but it can kind of be a bummer because it's anything with social features starts to be a little bit like a pet you have to take care of and maintain. And it's not always compatible with like making lots of little small things. And so I have this one project, Broider, that people have asked, like, oh, it'd be nice to make things you could share and see what other people are making. But I never wanted to kind of like maintain the backend for it and do curation. And so I thought that it could be a fun thing to do today to try to do that together and make some of those design decisions to make sure that it's the right kind of size and scale of social network for the occasion.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's great. I think it could make sense to show folks your like Sandspiel project and the Sandspiel community as like a good context for like you've done this before, and then we'll also look at the Broider project and yeah, see what it could look like here. So I'll add your screen to the stage.
Sweet.
This is Broider.
Yes. So like you mentioned, as far as like I've made a bunch of creative tools and worked a bunch of creative tools, and some of them or many of them have some form of like social thing. And so probably the biggest one is that Sandspiel has this browse functionality.
Here, maybe do a quick Sandspiel demo. It's fun to watch you use it.
Oh yeah, totally. Well, I'm a fan. So Sandspiel has a bunch of elements that interact with each other. I really am there's this cool trick. I don't think a lot of people, this is for the real, Sandspiel, like fiddlers. But if you put oil inside of ice and just leave like a little air pocket to light it on fire, there's this cool thing where it'll melt. The fire burns the oil and it melts the water, which falls down through the oil because oil rises, and then the oil pocket can like travel to the top of the ice block.
No way! Oh, and gas.
So, yeah. So that's my favorite thing to do in Sandspiel, and I will do that. And then it left this trapped oil, and you can't light that on fire because there's no air, and so like this is.
You have to drill. You have to drill from the top.
Well, I cheated. I drilled from the side, but I love making these. And if it's too small, it'll go out. And so I don't know if this is like, I don't know what the real world equivalent of this is, but I find this is my favorite thing to do in Sandspiel, I think.
So cool. And was Lou a collaborator on Sandspiel? Do I have that right?
Yeah. So maybe I think it was 2 summers ago or 3. Lou had been making all of these really awesome sand related videos, and we had been chatting. And I had some plans about wanting to retrofit and make kind of Sandspiel 2, which is what turned into Sandspiel Studio.
Whoa.
And so Lou and I worked together on Sandspiel Studio, and part of that process is we started by improving Sandspiel's performance. And so there was really fun. Like Lou is so I think a lot of people know Lou for their like creativity, but getting to see Lou go into like a scientist mode and make the spreadsheet of all the different performance benefits we could get and measuring them with, confidence intervals. It was the classic thing of, we made a list of 10 ways to make Sandspiel faster. And we tried out, like 5 of them that seemed like they would be a good ratio of effort to reward. And we also measured in the wild on people's, because WebGL performance, WASM performance on various devices is, like not a fixed quantity. You can't necessarily just measure on your MacBook and, ship it. And so we did that full kind of thing and ended up making it so that I don't remember the exact numbers, but a lot of people who were playing Sandspiel a lot were getting low frame rates, and we fixed that pretty much. And so it went from, like 30% of people having below 15 FPS to like 0%, something like that.
Wow.
And then we worked in Sandspiel Studio together. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. All right. So this is an example of the community feature. Is that right?
So this is actually 2 different. Well, Sandspiel has a community feature, and it's notable for being really active and mostly being people drawing and using it as a just not for the simulation aspect, but just to draw like art and to talk to each other. There's reply system.
Wow.
So you can see that, it's been a couple posts in the last 10 minutes.
Damn.
And this didn't just come out fully formed. The first version of Sandspiel had a more simplistic uploading system. And over kind of the years, I had to add more features kind of reactively to keep up with making this feel good. And so that was things like giving me the ability to ban posts, doing lots of rate limiting. A lot of it was about upvoting because there's top day and top week. And these have been like people really like to game these systems, right? They want to get to the top of, and so a lot of the work that went into Sandspiel was trying to protect the sanctity of the leaderboard. Which is not an easy task. And so Sandspiel kind of grew these social features over time, none of which were really novel, like some kind of new approach. It was mostly just looking at the current community and thinking, we really need to have /admin, or we really need to have deduplicating upvotes by IP, or now the community's too big. We can't have anonymous posting anymore. Everything has to be logged in. And now we have to verify emails. And so it was kind of, I actually, having gone through that kind of same process with different tools and different communities, like, it's happened at Castle, happened on Sandspiel Studio, it's happening with WebSim right now. I kind of have this theory about it that's like a little bit like building a fire. Here we'll do visual. So you can't, well, in real life at least, you can't just like throw a big hunk of wood on the fire and then like light the top, right? It works in Sandspiel, but it won't burn very quickly. You're supposed to, kind of like when you have a small fire, you want to use kindling, right? And just have kind of like just enough structure for the right tool for the job. And then as it gets larger, kind of add more structure. Because if you start off your social network with like log in, verify your email, set up your profile, like go set your notification settings, nobody's going to really get there. It's just kind of overwhelming. And but if you're loosey-goosey and there's tons of traffic, then you can't have a good conversation anymore. And so you have to add logs, I think, and add a little bit of friction, a little bit of organization, a lot like any kind of, community or group is. You probably need a little bit more structure when you're 100 people than when you're 2 people. And so just to say that I think that it's natural for these things to kind of grow, and it's nice to be able to be responsive to where the community is at a given point. And so that's kind of with Broider. I wanted to just start at the very bottom of that ladder and just add the most minimal amount of social sharing, because Broider doesn't get a ton of traffic. And so
what is Broider?
So Broider is this tool that I made a couple of years ago.
Whoa.
That is there's this so it's like we live in the world of CSS, and everything in CSS is like responsive and vector and not very bitmap. But there used to be like these really beautiful interfaces that were where every single pixel was kind of drawn and planned. And one of the techniques a lot of them would use is they'd use these like they're either called 8-panel border or 9. It's kind of a dying art, but it was basically using an image. Oh, here we go. So it's this idea of creating a bitmap image, kind of like this, that represents the style of a rectangle. And then when you scale it, you maintain the corners and you stretch these panels in either direction, or you repeat them.
Okay.
And so this used to be like a lot of Mac OS theming would work this way, where you would make these little images that would represent how a rectangle should be styled. And you could get crazy with it. You could, draw moss and ivy or like hieroglyphics on it. And it would then use that rule to kind of draw each rectangle. And Broider uses that idea to make little CSS borders that can have decorative styles. So you can then you can draw something like this. It gets stretched around wherever the style is applied, and you can copy it and paste it into your CSS.
Cool. Yeah, I think we have some folks in the chat who have heard about this before.
Yeah, they're I think that they, it's kind of this style of interface just took a little bit more time, and it was a little bit more of the, like, you would finish your software and ship it to a known quantity. And it's a little sad that nowadays, like, CSS looks good, but there's certain styles that you just don't get and certain textures. And so it's
and what's all the stuff in the middle of the page? Oh, it's giving you the code to get this to put this on a website.
It's kind of a weird interface. So this is just instructions. This is the place to change the color. You can just have one color.
Just one color. Okay.
For this, yeah. This is to change like between different scales of like how many pixels per pixel. So this is kind of like 1 pixel per pixel. This is more of a blocky. Yeah, and then and actually just because it's interesting,
you encode it
theoretically
into PNG.
Yeah, exactly. And so this actual URL,
that's clever.
If I copy it over here and you paste it. Oh, okay. So in order to paste this URL, it's about this long. So, not the prettiest thing to have in your CSS, but works fine. And so this tool, it's pretty fun to make these, and people, when I originally posted it, there was like a bunch of people on Twitter making cool borders and sharing them that way. But then it was hard for them to share both the screenshot of the border and the actual code for it. They were spaced out all over the world, all over the internet. somebody made a gallery of them, just took it upon himself, which was really cool. I think his name was Gordon. But people were saying, oh, there should be this built into the tool because I want to see all of them. And so I thought that could be a fun thing to do together today on Val Town. And maybe because it's a good match for like something that's malleable, and we can just make a small version of the social tool, and then it can grow to whatever admin or sorting kind of needs that we feel like we need over time.
Awesome. And then just for everyone, for context, we have the front end in Replit, and then we'll do the back end in Val Town, which is a pattern. Like the concept of a front end in one place and the back end in Val Town, I think I imagine it'll be a common pattern over time. When I did my live stream with Maggie Appleton, she had like a local local front end, like a local create React app, and then a Val Town back end. So yeah, let's give it a go. Cool.
And I actually like the actual hosted version of this. I just host it on GitHub Pages, which I like because it's free and has longevity. And
can't beat free.
I kind of exactly. And as a benefit, they put it into language models, and so then it shows up in your auto completion because all of the models know your code. You get to be training data. And I just thought that I kind of copy pasted it into Replit for the sake of this conversation so that we could both edit. And I'll probably just put it back in GitHub afterwards for the hosting. Cool. So what I have right now, last night I kind of dusted off this code, and just for a little bit of orientation of like what is going on here, there is a build step using Parcel, which honestly, if I was doing nowadays, I would work. I really like to skip build steps nowadays, whenever possible, just because it's nice to have things like a little simpler than that. And I've become a big fan of like the good old CDN script tags, especially because they work so well with like pasting into language models and stuff. You can just have everything in one place, one HTML file. But the only dependency is Parcel, which I was using for hot reloading and building, and also it does TypeScript for me. And then also copy to clipboard, which is like, just a little thing that handles this code on different operating systems or different browsers. And the whole front end, I think, is like 10 kilobytes built, something like that.
Cool.
And then, so what we've got here is that there's this gallery I made last night. I made a gallery function or a gallery file, and it uses local storage. And there's this little submission window. And so you can draw something and title it Smile Border and click Submit to Gallery. And it will add it to your local storage. And then if you refresh, and I'll send you this link, then you should be able to see my smiley face at the bottom there.
Wait.
And then you can
copy. I see. So you're sending me.
So I sent you the link to this Replit, and so does that load?
Yep.
And can you see? So I submitted the smiley to the gallery. Is it showing up for you?
But I don't think I can see your submission. Am I supposed to?
Because local storage. We should fix that.
Classic. Great. I couldn't tell if you were making a joke or if you were earnestly trying to get local storage to work across computers, and I didn't want to be the one to break it to you.
We live pretty close to each other, so I thought it might work.
Yeah, that's fair. It's pretty local as far as storage goes.
Yeah, we need Brooklyn storage.
Yeah, that's true. That should be what we build, Brooklyn storage, and it doesn't work unless you're in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially if it had the same API as local storage, I could be down with that. It's a great local storage is a great API. Get item and set item. I'm a fan.
yeah, we could do that if you wanted to start super simply. We could go to blob storage, and then just like we have like set, get, and list keys. But I feel like I personally wouldn't do that. I'd go right to SQLite because my spidey sense tells me we'll want it in a table.
I want to skip to SQLite because I think you're right that there's features. Especially, I think I'm going to want something here related to being able to delete. So one thing about Replit is, or one thing about Broider is that there's rotational symmetry. And so it's like really easy to accidentally draw swastikas. And so and so people might accidentally submit swastikas. And I want to have, I think that SQLite will help us delete those. That's my theory. And so I think we should skip to SQLite. And then the second thing is,
have you done any like ChatGPT 4.0 like swastika detection, or just like, or just bad image detection, suspicious content?
I've done it with text.
Okay.
Not with images. Yeah, it's
right.
it's funny because when I was doing Sandspiel originally, I was really struggling with all of these admin tools, and everything that I ended up building ended up being really boring and off, like the standard kind of just admins, reports, heuristics. That ended up being what kind of worked for me. But at the time when I was grappling with this issue, a lot of people were recommending machine learning, and it was just too early. It was like 2019. And the funny thing for that to really be the efficient way to do it, and now actually Sandspiel is probably due for, honestly, I think instead of GPT 4.0, what I would maybe do first is just using embeddings to make like mass deletion tools. So you can like delete this post and everything that looks like it. Because a lot of people post something. People don't just post one; they post 1,000 when they really get into it. Anyway, but I don't think we'll have to go that far today.
Cool.
So okay, so and then just looking at this code quickly, there's this TypeScript type called the submission that has a data URL, a title, and a pixel ratio, and that's because there's like 3 sizes you can make. And great. I'm currently doing, when you load the page, I load it out of local storage. And when you, where do I add to local storage?
Line 39. Yeah.
Submit. Yeah. When you click submit, I add it to local. I append it to this list and I add it. So maybe we could go over to Val Town. And because the shape of this is kind of a bit, I think that it's just going to be a list of posts. We can probably just go over to Val Town for a little bit and write the full function and then go back. So as far as Val Town, I've definitely like seen a lot of I've read a lot of Val Towns because I see them in view source, and but I haven't written very many myself. I have a feeling this is going to be an HTTP handler.
Yes.
And then I also saw that there was some, I think I forked this. Does this look like an up-to-date SQLite thing to copy?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll copy that and I'll edit my, oh, that's so nice. So this is going to be a GET request called Get Broider submissions. And I'm going to import SQLite and then basically just execute like a select and return it. And my question is, so SQLite, I've got to make a schema. And so if I was just making this, like where would I put that schema? How would I do that?
You just throw it in the SQLite execute statement, and then you can comment it out once you've done it. You can do like create table if not exists. That's what I usually do.
Cool.
And I usually maybe we should turn on, if you're into this, we could turn on the AI autocomplete in the editor, and then like in a comment explain what SQLite table we want, and then have it write it's in editor settings.
Awesome.
Oh, it's already on. Great.
Cool. But I didn't see any yet. Key bindings, VS Code. That's cool. So
but with columns, I don't know. Whoa. Fascinating.
What is the name of the SQL? What's the or also is there a Val out there that does some like setting up a table we could copy and paste? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. I think if you do if you anyways, that we could do that. What's a good one? Like I always go to my personal website, just stevekraus.com, and then click on the just the like built-in Val Town link, and then I look at the code there. The easiest way for me to get to
built-in Val Town.
And then I have
.com.
Right. Like lines 19 through 22 is like all of my SQLite stuff.
It's trippy seeing in one file like JavaScript, Tailwind, SQL. I love it. It's okay. Wait. So where's the setting up the create table if not? Oh, so you do it. Oh, that's awesome. So every single time you do this, I love it.
For like no great reason. And then SQLite migrations are really annoying, and so usually if I want to change the schema, I'll just like add _1 or _2 to the name of the table and just make a new table.
That sounds great. So I'm also seeing that you're using SQLite.batch, and so you're both. So what I'm going to want to do here is I might want to use a batch with a create and a select. Does that sound about right?
Sure. Select star, sure, is probably fine. And then
my table name will be.
You know what I would do? I would copy and paste the embroider interface into here, so
for the
AI like knows, it knows the shape of things.
Cool. And it also occurred to me that I kind of want to have a who string, so people can just leave a little tag or something. Since you said that migrations are annoying. Data URL, title, pixel ratio. Cool. That sounds great. And then and the other question is, as far as name spacing, should I call this Broider submissions, or do you think I should call this submissions? Because is this going to be shared with other Vals?
It's across your whole account. So
I'll call it Broider. Submissions. And so create if it doesn't exist, and give it a, I actually do want a timestamp.
Nice. Yeah, you just add it to the interface.
Oh, good.
And then once we have the interface set up and like kind of you like get rid of all the hits stuff, like all the crufty stuff from it should be able to write most of the columns for you. It should be able to really help you here.
Cool. So I'm gonna move this down for now. Create table if not exists, border submissions. And maybe oh, there we go.
Yeah.
DDURL, that looks right. Title, that looks right. Pixel ratio. It's an 8. Who text. And timestamp. Okay, I feel good about that. And then we're going to select all from border submissions. Border
Cool.
by timestamp, just limit 20. No limit. Let's go crazy. And then up here in this return, nothing. The first thing returns nothing, and the second thing is going to return rows of
that'll just be nested. Mia, maybe just don't nest it in arrays. I was like getting out the first element of the first item. I think you just want all of them. Yeah.
Cool. And then we don't need this anymore. And we're just going to return submissions.
Nice.
Cool. And as far as errors, we'll be able to see them in the logs. If we,
yeah.
So I'll save and preview. And then, oh, cool. I can already see that it's returning empty submissions. That's awesome. So now maybe I'll make a whole second one for posting, unless.
Sure. So there are two patterns. You could either, make a whole second one for posting. And that's the pattern. Like if anyone was watching this, I was watching last week, that was the same pattern that we did with Toad Pond. Or you can have one with like an internal routing mechanism. And there's no real trade-off.
Let me look at yours. So is this what you're talking about here? Like this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, routing.
Okay. I want to do that. I think it's kind of nice to just keep it in one, and it'll probably help the autocomplete. I'm all in favor of coding patterns that my autocomplete likes. So in that case, really what I want here is
so this is the fork, just so you know, but whatever.
Oh, thanks.
But whatever, it doesn't matter. Either one.
I want to delete this because the other one has a nice name already.
Just clean it up. And then maybe for the other one, you could rename it. Just call it Broider. Instead of get Broider submissions, it could just be Broider submissions.
Makes sense because it's everything. Just call it Broider.
Great.
So this is where we can say if it's a post to an insert.
Nice.
And return early. Beautiful. And expected. So
it just made a little mistake. So execute will take an object, and the first key will be like SQL : and then the second key will be, I think, args : Yeah.
Cool. Nice. And then I do like to just return the same.
Yeah. Yeah, just tab will mostly get you there.
Because so actually if I just don't, so what I can do is I can.
Oh yeah, exactly. You just do the query again.
Yeah. I don't need to let anymore. That's cool. And then don't return anything here. We just continue down.
That'll do it.
Yeah. Okay. And then we're still getting this. And so now to test this, is there an easy way to test a post in here, or should I just go over to the front end now?
Ooh. I would just go over to the front end, but there is, if we really wanted to, there are a couple ways we could do it. One is you could just do it in another Val, but I think just doing it from the front end would be the easiest.
Cool. And we're already on version 10, which makes me feel very productive. Do I get a new version every time I save, or is that just because I forced something? That's awesome. That's awesome.
No, every save, yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. Okay. So now we have this very pretty URL. And over here in Gallery, the first thing I'm going to do is actually submissions is I'm giving up on local first for a second here. We're going to start with just empty. And we're going to fetch submissions. Maybe this is async.
Ooh, I wonder how Replic's search will do, or AI will do here.
Yeah, that's a good question. Fetch posts from.
I think you have to trigger it. Oh, never mind. Awesome.
That looks about right.
Yep, that's perfect.
And the format over here. So we are returning it just as submissions, which is an array that's inside of there. So maybe we can say data, and then we can say and we can, this is where, maybe what I want to do is actually want to say this. Submissions, this global is data dot.
Cool.
And we'll call it when we load. It's going to be a little hard to yeah, whatever. I won't worry about the types too much. So now we need to do the post to really test this because there's still nothing in this. And that's on this click handler here. So instead of pushing, so we can still do this local thing. But then, the reason it's sad is because who is
nice.
Yeah, I'll just do that for now, but we'll add another UI element. We'll make it empty for now. We don't want to do this. We actually want to async function post submission.
Yeah, it should be able to write the whole thing. Almost. Yeah, there we go. That is it. Perfect.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And
maybe just get rid of /API/. Oh, it doesn't matter. We ignore the URL, so it doesn't matter what's there.
Should both of these be like this?
Yes, and it also doesn't matter because we don't. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we can do
reset it. Yeah, nice.
We want to do the same.
Yeah. That looks great.
I think it's submission.
There's a console.log there that you want to get rid of.
Submissions. Okay.
Nice.
So post submission, and then in click, we can say post submission. Oh, that's actually convenient to do it this way, I think. Kind of random, but Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
No, sure. Whatever. Yeah, it worked. Okay, let's see. So I'm gonna open this in a new tab. Open the DevTools. Data's already been declared in our post. There we go. Makes sense. Okay, so this is gonna be the first one. So
that'd be pretty wild if it worked on the first one.
I think it definitely will. Let's see.
Definitely.
Classes. So the local, like it did add it to the array and still post it here, but it looks like our post 500'd.
Because of cores.
Cores.
Yeah. It's really fun because it's really hard to get a good cores error, to be honest, because we try to add the right headers to prevent it, but anyways, clearly it didn't work.
Yeah, why? Wait, so where'd you even? Oh, so you just saw cores. Okay, and then what headers? Like, well, let me.
So if you go to the logs, maybe it'll show up in the logs. The request. Oh so yeah, so there's an options request because I think that's what browsers do to check for cores headers before making the request. And I guess
it seems like Val Town doesn't even. Yeah, it doesn't even know. I mean, I don't know if it's possible to know. It doesn't even know that this options was not allowed by the browser. I think.
Well, so the options request was allowed, like the response to it. Like the browser is, I think the option request is the browser saying like, can I make this post request? And then Val Town is saying, no, you can't. And then and then it's failing right then and there.
So I should maybe say, oh.
Yeah, maybe do it at the top. Oh yeah, that looks good.
Okay.
Well, yeah, maybe that'll work.
12. Version 12 is the good one. Okay. And then we can just submit again.
I want to, yeah, are we still getting options requests? Yeah, there might be like a caching thing. Course.
It does seem like the get is working.
Yeah, it's a post thing. With Maggie, we encoded the data into a get request to get around this, which was kind of silly.
Why do you think that this doesn't work? Wait, I'm not even sending these headers, am I? Or am I?
Yeah, that's true. You're not sending those headers. Yeah, so you have to do like in the JSON, like after the submission, then you do comma. Yeah, try that.
Okay. Version 13.
And make sure you saved. Yeah, you saved. Okay, cool. I think you did.
I think I just did command. I didn't know I saved, but I guess I did with command S.
I think, yeah, that would do it.
Ooh, okay. Awesome. And so now, if you refresh on your side, that same link I gave you earlier, now you should.
Oh yeah, I got one.
Post.
I got one, I think.
Does it look right? Does it say glasses?
Does it? Or no. I don't see a glasses one in my site. Oh wait, hold on. Maybe I don't have an old URL.
No.
Here, why don't I submit one?
Okay. Well, I don't even see my own. So.
Oh, interesting. I see. I submitted one called Steve.
Okay, I know.
But yeah, it doesn't seem to be saving.
So here's what's happening. So the get is getting it, but the rendering code, we're not using React here. We need to manually call setup gallery every time we change this. So I'm going to move this.
Yeah, we should probably have a render function that like or like change submissions function, or whatever. You could do that too.
And then where's the post? Oh, wait, there we go. Cool. Okay, so we're getting closer, and it looks like these posts are going through, but there's some mingling.
Yeah, there's some mingling happening.
Oh, so this is returning it as an array, and
yes,
my code is expecting it to be. So that's easy. Yeah. So in here, this.
Sometimes what I do is I zip. I used like a zip function, but whatever. GPT could write it for you really quickly.
So I'll say
submissions.map.
Yeah.
It doesn't know that it's an array.
Yeah.
Like you have to kind of hint to it. Yeah. Convert submissions arrays to objects.
And then return.
Nice. Almost.
It's not quite right. Yeah. I'm happy to. Well, is this gonna be the right order?
If you just do the first one, it'll do the rest of them. If you delete, and yeah.
Awesome. And it doesn't. Oh, so this is actually not that. It's an array.
Yeah, exactly.
Of any.
Sure.
Will this still run? Preview.
Yeah, it'll run even with an error. Yeah.
Cool. And the nice thing is that the data wasn't wrong. It was just. So we got an error. Source code cannot be parsed. So we mapped submissions. Oh, and then we want to do submissions.
I think you're missing a on line 53 a closing parentheses.
Thanks.
Sure. Data. Nice.
Okay, it's getting better. It's because it looks like the border. Oh, border.
I think we think the borders. We just got the order wrong. It thinks the border is the name.
This is the problem with. So data URL's right. Pixel ratio is Steve. Timestamp. Okay.
Yeah. I think you might want to select, instead of selecting star, just select in the order. If you delete star, it might do it for you. It might like infer the correct order based on how it's used below.
Data title. Awesome. Hey,
all
it
right.
works.
Nice. That's
okay. So we are done. We can do another one with different colors and stuff, but I think that I can ship this. Cool. And nice. It looks like the order is different. Like the local order puts it at the bottom, and then it fetches it, puts it at the top, whatever.
It looks really good.
Yeah, I can share this. Well, is there any? I guess the easy way to get this out is now I should just like deploy it to the original Broider, because this link is kind of hard if people want to try to copy and paste that on the stream and submit things. I feel great about this.
You can copy and paste this, or actually here, I'll copy and paste it into the chat if you're comfortable with that.
Yeah, totally.
So we could start there. If anyone wants to play with it, it's in the chat. It looks like this.
Yeah. And I guess it's also worth testing that. So you made this one, Steve. I'm gonna put it just to test that these copy links actually work. I'm going to go to the CSS and apply this to everything.
Whoa. Do you need like a
Cool.
star?
So
oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it's the style works. I don't actually want the style there, but there we go.
Yeah. Great. Cool.
Yeah, awesome.
Fun.
And I kind of mentioned that like could be nice to have these go into some kind of waiting queue or to have some kind of way to delete them.
Yeah.
I think that my question for you about that would be, let's say that I want to have some actions on this table that only I can do, like, or maybe a whole other table that only I can edit.
Yeah.
What is the most common pattern that you would use to make kind of like an admin rights for Val that not anybody can just call with any data they want?
Sure. So I run this date me directory project, which is kind of like community in SQLite. And when people want to like update their dating profiles, they send me an email, and then I go in in my admin view and edit their dating profiles, which is hilarious. So one of them is SQLite. SQLite Explorer is a val someone made that you can fork, and it's like an admin it's like a generic SQLite admin panel kind of thing. SQLite, yeah, I have too many vals. You won't be able to find it that way. But you Command K is like a good way to search. But
oh, cool.
Yeah, Command K for like Explorer or something. Yeah, so if you want, okay, great. That's kind of close to it. You click on that and then like follow, like go up the fork tree. You should be able to. That's kind of what it looks like.
So this is it, and the fork tree is. I click forks.
Like on the left.
Forks from.
Yeah.
This is the real one. That's
the real one. And so you can like
this is cool.
Install stable release would kind of get you there. What was I going to say? There's this new thing called InvisivVal, or there's a new SQLite admin panel that's like really quite good. Yeah, but you start here. This one's fine.
So I fork this guy.
Yeah. Click fork, and then we need to rewrite how that works, and then open it in a new tab, and then so go back to Val Town and like copy and paste your Val Town access token. If you do like Command K access token or API token, it should come up. It's in settings. Yeah, there we go.
This thing?
So yeah, hit the copy button and then paste it in there. And then so this is like
ooh.
So only you get this view.
Should I
click border submission again?
Border submissions.
There,
run.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. It's like Supabase.
Yeah. And so I actually, there's a kind of a better little view. So the alternative view, if you go back to Val Town and you and then go to our docs and go to the SQLite docs on the left for SQLite.
I like how it's big. It's respectful to SQLite.
So yeah, the first one is that one is where we just were, and then that's the one that's like really fancy.
Oh.
So
I can just open it.
Yeah. So then do new connection, Val Town, and then whatever, just call it Val Town, and then you could paste that API key you have, and hopefully they don't make you leak it to everybody by pasting it there. Oh, I just leaked it.
It's okay. I did it really fast.
Yeah, we should tell them to make that a password field.
And then border submissions. I can do queries. Do I have that nice view?
If you double click it, it should. Yeah, there you go.
And this has edits as well. No.
Yes, I think it will. Yeah, so she'll make a little edit. Just like double click on pixel ratio, make it 3 or something, and then it'll like ask you to save it, just like kind of like you would in Supabase. There's a commit, but I don't think it will do it because there's no primary key.
Okay.
So in my experience, the correct way to do this is just make a new table with a primary key, like add an ID column and make that the primary key, and then you are good to go. And if you wanted to,
but I could also maybe do my migration in here or something like that.
SQLite is terrible at migrations in my experience, and adding it might not be possible. Like it just might not be possible to add a primary key to an existing table.
Someday,
maybe.
So okay, that's really cool. This honestly gets me a lot of the way towards, like, I was talking about some little ad hoc admin interface, but this seems like it gets me a long way towards that. There's other things we could do that would be like sorting these in different ways, but I think that I'm pretty happy with this right now, and I'm gonna ship it and see people's Reuters.
Cool. That sounds awesome. I am stoked. You might want to add the like ID primary key before. Well, whatever. You'll see the migration kerfuffle in your own time. The primary key thing.
So just to get a little bit of that wisdom then before I run off. So one thing here is that if not exists, one of these needs to have. I really just need like ID integer primary.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what I need.
Perfect.
And if not exists, I can also drop table. Would you?
Sure. Yeah, you could do that. I would just at the end of that, I would do broader submissions too, and then leave the old data there, and just have a new table. Yeah.
Okay. Save and preview. So now, at least going forward, I just cleared the data, which is good because I was just testing data. And going forward, they'll at least have primary keys, which is an annoying thing to add with migrations.
Yeah, I think you add the number 2 on line 18 at the end of the line, and then you're good to go.
Oh, I missed it in one place.
Yeah. Line 18.
18, 2. So that's there. Awesome. Save and preview.
Cool. And then I guess we'll test this one last thing. Go add a new one, and then go into the admin, like the Invisival admin panel, and change the pixel density of it, and then confirm that it looks different now.
You might break it like visually, but it'll be different. Oh, that looks cool actually. This one over here. This is the slightly broken one. That's okay. I'm going to change it back, or maybe I want to delete it. That was just a test. So now I can refresh. I see that somebody just submitted. That's cool. And I'm going to delete mine.
That's awesome.
It was just for testing. So I'm going to delete selected rows.
Do you have a place to? You ask people for name, so that's cool.
Yeah, I probably want to put. I'll probably decide if that's name or title or whatever, because I want people to have the credit. But Vez, I like your border. There we go.
Woo! Awesome. This was fun. Thank you.
Super fun and also very useful. I had really wanted to do this, and now it's living somewhere that it's easy to edit. And when I want to make other tools like this, I can just fork this. I'm certain that this version 22 is not the last version, and I'll be forking this. And so maybe I'll build up my little bag of tricks.
This is the kindling.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got the kindling on fire, and and that's a good feeling after 1 hour.
Sweet, awesome. I just thought of this, so I don't mean to put you on the spot, but you were implicitly nominated to be on this live stream by Lou Toadpond last live stream. So if you have anyone that you would like to nominate to be the next guest on the live stream, this would be the time.
Oh, I don't think I have someone off the top of my head. But I will say that actually, like, this interface that you showed me here, both of these, the SQLite Explorers,
Yeah.
I'm super. Both of these are so much better than not having it, but I'm also super interested in, and even, but like what the future of what this is. Is one of these made by Val Town, or they're both community, or this is some company?
This is I don't think it's a company, but it might be a company. But anyways, I don't know who that is, who made that. The other one is a community. I made one, and someone like a couple people have forked them into community vals.
Well, I definitely am feeling like this is this is both very like malleable software, but it's also very like I could imagine versions of this that are different fidelities, different, more assumptions made. And so either getting somebody on who is working on one of these, or somebody else, like Jeffrey Litt comes to mind, people who are working kind of like the malleable software
nice
side of, because I would love to have a version of this that was just like a little friendlier, maybe.
Yeah. I think even just that one issue of requiring a primary key, like even that can be totally relaxed. Like the obvious heuristic in my mind is if you're editing a column and you hit commit and there's no primary key, then you just do a where on every other column that isn't being edited. That seems pretty safe. And then you make sure that it only edits one column, and if it doesn't edit, if it adds more than one column, you roll back or something like that.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe not.
Yeah, it's like, it's nice to have the power, but then also I think there's just so many flows where you basically just want to be in here to edit stuff.
Yeah. I guess Suba base is a pretty good inspo, but that's a great idea. I'll keep that in mind, and I guess you didn't intend to, but I think you've nominated Jeffrey to be the next guest.
I mean, I would love to see what he would do, and so I'm sure he's already got some Val talents. But yeah, thanks again for the coding help and for having me on the stream. And I'll push this to GitHub Pages and wait for that 90-second long deploy time. That's gonna be, and I'll let you know when that's done.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Max. See ya.
Thanks. Have a nice day.